Hello everybody, you know who I am, MrTacpans, and I am smoking. Probably I should stop smoking as I'm getting very little information lately. And what little information I'm getting is so small I keep putting it all over the place, and either I lose it or it doesn't mean as much later as much as when it comes in right away. Now I just got the information right now fresh off the top. I haven't even had any time to really work on it. But the minute I saw what it was, I desperately had to come on here right now. It says Afghan, what does it say? It says Afghan aid lead, gang aid lead. What's going on in Afghan right now? Or is it Afghanistan? Okay, Oregon, Afghanistan in the same word. Okay, because there's always combinations to these words. They're coming from someplace and the code's going somewhere else. So there's always going to be two, plus the passage in between, whatever it connects to in between. Right now I have Afghanistan, you lead the way. And where did I get this? I just looked at my telephone number and did a very quick numerology on it, and boom, bang, every single number fit in the right spot. And what's funny about my number is in one part of it, it explains the one Spirit of God, and in the other part of it, it says the one Spirit of God again. But one of them says 7-6, the other one says 1-6, because it's the one Spirit. The other one is the God, Spirit of Man, 1976, 1967. Those are the primaries. And what's funny about those years is 6 and 7 is 13, 1 and 3 is 4 black. They're both on the same side of the board on roulette. Okay, so this says Afghan aid lead. F-gag eid aid. So F-gag eid aid is to win, F, which means the business, the country. To win the country, lead, aid, E-I-D aid, which means the soldiers and the robotic soldiers that they're with, E-I-E-I-O, because it's from the robotic soldier to what he sees back to the man on the gear. From the man on the gear, what he gets in a result and what he sees through the robot gives you the E-I, and the O is the totality of what the robot is doing. The O, the totality, is the egg. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. If you're multiplying the movements, there's 625 movements of 5, and there's 5 5s, so that would make 25 of 625 movements, and that would be the Mayan short count, the movement of the robotics. Afghan, the lead, aid, die, it says. Backwards this word says die in the lead, aid and die. Die means 1 cube, it means man's attack. This is man's attack, it's 1 cube. Then the last part, it can also be used as ADE, and it could be the add-on in the electronic world, which is the gag of F, which gag, like I said, it's Afghanistan. And why it's gag of F? Because F's a robot, it's a business. F plates, F business, F world, whatever it is. Another thing I was thinking to go on from this is that, you know, it would be really funny if Pluto, okay, went into the center of this planet and is right on the cross, okay, like in Rubik's Cube. And then after that, okay, they put Neptune for the waters. And then after that, they put Uranus, because your ass is the ground, right? Who you are, Uranus, your ass is the ground. So they put the planet Uranus as a name, saying this is your ground. You're sitting on your own ass now. Because the opposite of all these are Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. Now, once these go on the inside, now you have to have on the outside. So now 4, 5, and 6 in your telephone is the straight line of Christ, okay, where the energy is put out to. The Christ comes down, or it comes from underneath the ground. It definitely comes from under the ground, that's for sure. That's for sure. Maybe that's what it is. God's red energy comes from the sky in the second sun. Okay, the yellow energy goes up to the sun because our sun is created. It's a created sun. But it's a sun all the same. Okay, not the real Son of God, but that's the way he communicates with us. That's his sun. The sun is a communication box. The energy down from the sun, the Christ up from the bottom, it pulls the Christ up You know what the Christ is? It goes underneath your skin and your upper dermis. You know what happens to it from them? When your body needs it, it calls on it and goes to repair, goes to do DNA work, or whatever work it does. You know what they also call it? They call it part of the sternum. The sternum and the sperm. The sperm. Because that's what it is. That's what these guys are. They're sperms. They're things that go and they do housework on your body. And then they jump into a bag all getting ready to get excited and jump out again, but this time into the real world and probably come out in a real person. So they're all excited right now. That's why you get excited, because they're excited. They know what's going on. So what was I talking about? You know, I threw things all over the place. Yeah, we were talking about the planets. So then now that these are in the inside of us, structuring us and holding us up, okay, to stand out, everybody underneath, okay, in the south is walking upside down to us, toe to toe. There is no top of us because we're the top. So they walk upside down to us because of the magnetic pull is pulling into the earth. So they get pulled. So they're walking actually on their feet upside down. Except for certain animals. I don't know why. I don't know how it works. Okay. So it's really screwed up down there. This is under our world. Then what I think they do is they take Earth, Mars, and Jupiter and Saturn, and they throw it inside Jupiter. And they call these the pods. They're just lookalikes. Yeah, when you look in the sky, you'll still see them. They're still there. But this is a comparison to how the actual solar system, why it has all these planets and why it has all these moons and everything. Okay, it's a bigger plan because it's really out there, so they got to put it in here. Okay, God's got to show you the real world too, you know. He can't just put you in this schoolhouse and say, hey baby, it's not the same anywhere else. It is the same. The colors are different. The people act a lot differently, but it's all the same. We have a world and a world and a world all in its own. And Mercury and Venus don't have any moons because they don't need any moons. Venus is the Christ energy that comes from under and fills us all with love. And God's fierce energy of red that comes through the sun fills us with this fierce need to do right, to succeed. Okay? The will to want. The blood that flows in our body is full of information. Your heart does not only beat, your heart and your brain are constantly sending back messages back and forth, always asking and telling, because the heart, the only communication the heart gets is from the brain. Okay? Or does it actually go down to the heart and it sends it back to the brain? Who's in control? Is there another ball inside our heart also? Is the heart been mentioned so many times in our lifetime that heart has more heart than what you think it is? How many major valves? Where's the brain actually thinking from? Would it think from the brain? Or would it think from the heart? Because the expression, your brain is up your ass, is now a question in hand. If your brain is up your butt, and your brain must be in your butt, because that's where every shit piece hangs around, no? The yellow energy, you got everything hanging around your rear end. Okay? Isn't that funny? If your real mind was down in your ass. Of course you can see through here. How do you think it's made? You got a camera. Don't you see how that works? You think we work any different? They made it off how they thought we worked. They did the same thing because our vision is pretty cool, man. We don't see as far, but you know what? We have other extensions the camera doesn't have. Okay. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the planet. So the moon on Earth and the 2 moons on Mars is all they need, because there are 3 moons between, okay, that sit, one on Mars, one on Jupiter, and one on Saturn. These 3 planets. You should really check how all these planets work, because I'm quite sure it's going to be like a pedal boat, you know, or a grinder like this, where these 2 are out, these 2 are in, these 2 are in, these 2 are out, because it's working on a system. They're not working all alone. We're all working together. Otherwise, we'd bang into each other. Oh, it's so funny when you sort of think you know the truth, eh? When you really deep down heartedly believe that this is like, what is it, 14, 15 months? that I've been into this book. I never knew exactly what it was when I started, but I did get these numbers from outside of this world, that's for sure. Outside far enough that I went to the hospital because I never thought any of this could have been ever true. And today I believe it more than ever. So the question comes down, am I sick? Am I going to wake up one day and say, oh my God, everything I did is like completely different? Or is it? Because in 50 years from now, we're going to have cars that are going to fly in the air. And we won't even have to guide them because we're going to have a wireless system that's going to guide the cars through the system off to where you go. And the cars at the end, they disappear. They're all electronic. You sit in them, you feel it. The car's not actually there. Every time a car you get out of a car, the car disappears. There's never and ever and ever a car in front of you. Everybody gets and goes. There's never any accidents anymore. The cars in the skies, they don't exist. They're just elements of a ping pong game inside a box in which the gravitational pull puts everything in its own position. So the touch, like you used to see people move things with their hands, well, it's the same thing. It's the energies, it's the power of the mind transmitting into your hands, knowing all truth that I can lift something up with my hands, and therefore a constant energy system, right, will either drop everybody to the ground, okay, but it wouldn't matter because the one thing that would exist is in your own coat, right? You wouldn't fall very far because maybe the system will disappear, but the skies will still be there. So you'll actually be in the middle of the air and you'll just think, okay, down, and you'll all go down, and then you can walk the rest of the way if the system breaks down. So anyways, yeah, so it's really weird. What's going to happen in the States? Am I hearing the right thing? Is there really a takeover? You know, like I told you before on the map, South Dakota is full of rustic. The whole area is rustic from almost Chicago, Wisconsin, all the way over to Mount Rushmore, but it stops before Mount Rushmore. And rustic, when you play pool, the rustic is the 6 ball. The government is the 7. 6 and 7 is the spirit of 76. The 7 ball is they're both the last balls in their category. 7 is the last solid that you play for during the game. Then the 8. As the stripe, you skip over the 7. You go from the 15 ball, 1 and 5 is 6, over to the 8, skipping over the 7. Because you are the 7. There is no other 7. You are the 7. So that's why they do this in pool. Now Maine, oh, what do you think Maine's doing? Maine's going, everything's clear, because they can't come up to Canada. Canada has an element of what they call the white spirit. It's the most dangerous of all spirits, my friend. In one breath, whew, he freezes everything. He controls the totality of every element on this planet. So whatever the governments are doing, okay, the question is it the time that Christ comes? Is this just a very, very fantastic dream that one day I'll wake up in depression when I see reality? Part of a book, and I don't really care which one it is, because which one it is that's mostly in my mind is the book. And the truth I see right now, because it's a lot of fun and I see truth in it. Another thing is, have you ever looked at our head? If you really look at your head, Hebrew, it's a gimel. You have the hook on one side, going all the way down over here, and it's up to one shoulder, and it's up to the other shoulder, and now you're standing with 2 legs, and you got the gimel running into the dalet and creating the whole letter R. Yes, like I said, what's next? Am I dreaming? What's going on? We have Maine, it's in green. Yellow energy runs from the splitting of Virginia and North Carolina. Okay, and North Carolina, I think it splits from Virginia, and then it's all yellow all the way to the Keys, right up into Georgia, and then over on towards just before Louisiana. It's yellow, and that's the Christ of energy. They say it's the banana boat. So in my description, banana boat means Spanish train. So that might mean that they made a deal with the Spaniards and they gave them all of the bottom part of the northeast coast. So when they split apart, they give back pieces because they couldn't have done any of all this work that they're doing without paying somebody. And money, everybody knows, if you don't have land, your money runs out. So they paid people off with land. And they gave, I think, Florida and Georgia over to the Spaniards. And, well, that's the way it seems in my book right now. I could be completely wrong, and it could be the Spaniards, okay, that were here to save everybody, because in my book, Spanish means love and French means war. So they lost everything. There's a lot of wars, a lot of people on the boats driving here and there. There is Colombia, and because of the responses I'm getting from Colombia, which are very little, but now through certain videos that I did, I got a little bit more output, so I can understand how they're thinking right now. And as much as they'd love to continue the way they're doing their business because they're making a lot of money, there's a lot of pressure that's on them right now. And that's because of the people that are higher up. They need them for the drugs. They just show them off like that. They show them off like wild people, but I don't believe that. I haven't seen a wild one yet. Okay? The only time you get really wild, my friends, is when somebody wants to screw you. And it really pisses you off. You become extreme. From one extreme to the other one, and the first thing you hear from everybody, oh my God, look at them, from one extreme to the next. Well, screw them. What are you talking about? I don't have to be at the other extreme. I can be at one extreme good, and then the other extreme, screw that. There's no more good around here. I've got to be at the other extreme. It's not an option, it's an obligation. When somebody screws you and you catch him going out the door for the 10th time, you pull him over, you talk to him. If he takes out a baseball bat, what do? Wait till he hits you first, right? You know what I usually do? I start to talk to him. The guy wants to run away. I says, no, you're going to have to listen to me for a whole week now. I punish him in the mind. It's the only way to become extreme, is to get somebody in their mind, to be able to contain them with any means and hold them inside the mind. And my screen just disappeared. Oh, and it reappeared. Okay, yeah, so this whole thing was about Afghan and the lead. Where's Afghanistan? Where is their placement around the world? You see, I don't think we're going to be able to really stop any of this, what's going to go on, all this stupidity. But at least we're going to be aware and know what we should do for our awareness if any of this is going to happen. But like I said, if any of this does happen, then the month of February will correct it very, very quickly. According to my figures, something's going to be corrected. Something's going to be done finite in February of some sort. A beginning of a finite. Okay, I got other things to do. Take care. I hope you enjoyed Afghan. Something. Who's got the lead in Afghan? What's going on in Afghan? Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you one other thing, that between the Middle East and China, that's like the go on the Monopoly game when you get there, right? So if that's the go on Monopoly between China and the Middle East, okay? That means China starts off at the Mediterranean starts off, okay? The Mediterranean, and it comes around to Baltic. Okay, now the question is, since they begin, are they the primary in the game? Well, they have all the weakest links, except for coming back home to Boardwalk, where they have the strongest links on Boardwalk. Boardwalk, Park Place, and then your China and Middle East. These are your setups on the Monopoly game, okay? So now the question is, where is the strongest place to be, okay? Where would be the strongest place? Wouldn't it be red Kentucky? What is the other two places on the red for Monopoly? Red and green. Red is the fire energy, is the passage. 5. So where would that be? If you would roll it around, obviously it's definitely something to do with white man's game, North America, Columbus, Germany, because everything that comes out of Germany is like they know right over there, like it's incredible. It's just incredible what's in Germany. It's incredible. it's just all the names and numerology wise, it's just also perfect. And then you have the wolf. Now, where did the wolf howl? Conan Doyle? Was it in England? London? Is that where it was? All the information is in London. That's where the wolf is. The fox is in Germany. The fox sets up the operation and everything gets run in England. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. What was the program about the wolves, the dogs? Over the names of those dogs, there was a program, a book written about the dogs. Anyways, you got to check out that book, because that's going to give you part of our history, or history to be, one of the two. Well, everything seems to be going down about now, right? Okay, we're going to leave it at that. Another thing. You see this? This is the hookup of man. It's here. This is our head, okay? This is our head. This is our hair. Don't you see it resembles the onion? Don't you know how a coconut comes this big? And then you end up with this little thing. It's a big round thing on the top and a big round thing. This is our head. This is the juice in our head, okay? Coconut juice. It's got a skin, just like you have the head with a little skin underneath. And then inside is all the information that jiggles around. These three, okay, are south, okay? Your head cannot turn completely around like this, okay? Otherwise you'll twist off your head, or you'll twist off the connections on this coconut. Your body can turn around like this. So you can turn, your head will be turning around, but your head can't do more than this, or this. That's all your head can do. This or this. Oh look, there's already a face on here, right here. So that's all your head can do, this or this. That's all you can do in your life, is this or this. Otherwise it's your arms. So you move your whole body and you help your head. So when you go to sleep at night, it can do this, your head, right? But you can't rip these wires apart. You rip these wires apart, you rip your life apart. That's why when your head's ripped off, you're dead. Do you know why? All these come from your coccyx. Right down your spinal cord, right to your coccyx. Okay, where your ass is, right? Remember I told you what happens? You see, here's your pee hole right here. This is your energy, right here in this. Very important, the coconut. Watch the price of coconuts go up now. Yeah, I'm still saying that stock market's going to crash, eh? Like, less than 8 weeks away, at the maximum. Okay, guys, who am I? Am I still sick? Am I insane? You know what? I enjoy this so much. It's a part of my life now. And I'm not happy with the last 8 or 10 videos. They were just dribby-drap. But I know I'm going to come back here with stronger videos as soon as I get enough sun. I need the sun. I need a moon. I need these energies. They give me a high. Hi, everybody. I don't need to smoke weed or do cocaine or any of those addictive, ununderstood drugs, because I already got one drug in me no one ever can have if you don't want it. It's called the drug of the understanding and communication for the love of the God and how He created the totality to make it the way it is, so one day we can understand and see the beauty of what He did instead of how come He did it that way. Thank you very much.